Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mr. Speaking.
I'm Emily.
Hello, Emily. Hi, everyone. It is so great to be here with all of you today for another exciting episode.
Traveling is honestly one of the absolute best ways to use your English in real life. Don't you think, Paul?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When you travel, the language suddenly pops off the page and becomes real survival skills.
Exactly. From the moment you step into the airport to checking into your hotel, asking for directions, or ordering a meal, every single conversation is a chance to build your confidence.
But let's be honest with our listeners right now. Have you ever walked up to a customs officer or a hotel desk, felt your heart beating fast, and suddenly forgot every English word you know?
Yes, that tight feeling in your chest is so common. You know what you want to say in your head, but when it's time to speak, your mind just goes totally blank.
And that happens because traveling brings a little bit of stress. You're tired from a long flight, there's a line behind you, and you just want everything to go smoothly.
But don't worry at all, because today we are going to fix that together. We'll teach you the natural travel dialogues, practical expressions, and everyday vocabulary that native speakers actually use.
That's right. By the end of this episode, you will know exactly what to say at the check in counter, in a taxi, and when exploring a new city.
And don't miss our special practice conversation at the end of the episode. It's the perfect way to prepare for your next big trip and speak English with total confidence.
So, Emily, let's pack our bags and jump right in. Where does our travel journey begin today?
It begins at the airport, Paul. Let's talk about that very first moment when you walk up to the airline check in desk with your luggage.
Ah, yes. That's usually the big test, isn't it? What is the number one thing the airline agent will ask you right away?
They will almost always say, "May I have your passport and ticket, please?" It is a simple start, but it can make people nervous.
Yep, and the best way to answer is just to smile and say, "Here you go," or "Here is my passport." Keep it simple.
Exactly. You don't need a long, complicated sentence there. Just hand them your documents and say, "Here you go."
What about bags, Emily? I always see travelers getting confused when the agent asks about their suitcases.
Right. The agent will usually ask, "Are you checking any bags today?" That means putting your big suitcase under the airplane.
And if you only have a small backpack, you can just say, "No, just this carry-on." A carry-on is the bag you bring inside the plane with you.
Yes, that is such an important travel word to know. And if you do have a big suitcase, you just say, "Yes, I need to check this one."
What if your bag is a little too heavy? I saw a guy at the airport last month opening his suitcase on the floor and wearing 3 winter jackets.
Oh no, that is the worst feeling. To avoid that surprise, you can ask the agent, "What is the weight limit for this bag?"
That is a great question to ask. And what about seating? I'm definitely a window seat guy because I love looking at the clouds.
I am totally the opposite, Paul. I need an aisle seat so I can stand up and stretch my legs without climbing over anybody.
So, how can our listeners ask for their favorite seat without sounding rude or demanding?
You can use the word possible, which sounds very polite. Just ask, "Is it possible to get an aisle seat?" Or, "Could I get a window seat, please?"
Is it possible to get a window seat? That sounds so natural and friendly. Agents love it when you ask nicely like that.
Now, Paul, let's fast forward a few hours. You landed safely, you walked off the plane, and now you face the biggest travel moment of all: passport control.
Oh man, immigration. Even when I am traveling on a normal vacation, walking up to that booth always makes me feel like a secret agent in trouble.
I know, right? Those officers are usually very serious, but their questions are actually very standard and predictable.
What is the classic question every single border officer asks when you hand them your passport?
They will look at you and ask, "What is the purpose of your visit?" They just want to know why you are entering their country.
And this is where so many learners make a tiny mistake. They get nervous and start telling a whole 10-minute story about their life.
Exactly. Please don't tell the officer your whole life story. Keep your answer short, clear, and direct.
Yep, just say two simple words: on vacation or for tourism. If you're traveling for your job, just say on business.
That is really all they need. "I'm here on vacation" is the gold standard answer. What is the second question they usually ask right after that, Paul?
They almost always ask, how long will you be staying? They want to know the exact duration of your trip.
And again, keep it simple. Just give them the time frame. You can say for 10 days or for 2 weeks.
Exactly. I'll be here for 2 weeks. And sometimes they might ask where you are sleeping, like where will you be staying?
For that one, just give them the name of your hotel. Say, at the Marriott Hotel downtown, or show them your booking paper on your phone.
Showing the booking on your phone is such a great pro tip. It saves you from having to spell out funny street names.
Yes, visual aids are a traveler's best friend. Once the officer stamps your passport, you grab your bags and head out into the city.
Which brings us to our next big destination, Emily. Arriving at your hotel after a long, exhausting day of travel.
Oh, there is no better feeling than finally reaching your hotel desk and knowing a soft bed is waiting for you.
But before you can sleep, you have to talk to the receptionist. What is the smoothest way to start that check-in conversation?
The most natural phrase to use is, "I have a reservation under the name," and then say your last name.
I have a reservation under the name Silva. That sounds so professional. What if you arrived a little too early in the morning?
That happens a lot when you take a red-eye flight. You can politely ask, "Is it possible to check in early?"
And if the room isn't ready yet, what can you ask them to do with your heavy suitcases while you wait?
Just ask, "Could you store my luggage for a few hours?" Most hotels are super happy to keep your bags in a locked room for free.
That is super helpful. Now, once you finally get your room key, there are usually a couple of important questions you want to ask before walking away.
Oh, yeah. What is the first thing you always ask a hotel receptionist, Paul? I bet I can guess.
You already know me too well, Emily. My first question is always, what time is breakfast served? Food is my top priority.
I knew it. And that is a fantastic question. You can also ask, "Where is the breakfast room located?"
What about the internet, Emily? We all need to send photos to our families and check maps on our phones.
Right. You can ask, "Could I have the Wi-Fi password, please?" Usually they print it right on that little paper folder holding your room key.
But what happens if you get up to your room and discover a small problem, like maybe there are no clean towels in the bathroom?
That is such an important situation to talk about. Sometimes learners feel too shy to ask for help when something is missing in their room.
Exactly. You don't need to feel embarrassed or angry. Just call the front desk and use the phrase, "Could we get some extra?"
Yes. "Could we get some extra towels, please?" Or, "Could we get some extra pillows?" It is polite, direct, and solves the problem in seconds.
And if the street outside is super noisy and you can't sleep, you could even ask, is it possible to move to a quieter room?
Absolutely. Hotel staff want you to have a good stay, so speaking up nicely always gets you a great result.
Hey, Emily, before we head out of the hotel and grab a taxi to explore the city, let's take a quick moment for our wonderful listening family.
Oh, yes. If you are enjoying this travel episode and learning helpful phrases today, please take 1 second to like this video and subscribe to Mr. English channel.
It really helps us support more learners just like you all around the globe. And make sure to share this episode with a friend who loves traveling.
We also want to hear from you in the comments below. Tell us, what is your favorite dream travel destination in the whole world?
Oh, I can't wait to read those comments. Maybe I'll get some inspiration for my next summer vacation.
Me too. Now, let's step outside the hotel doors and talk about getting around a new city using taxis and ride sharing apps.
This is where real-life English becomes super practical. When you get into a taxi, how do you give the driver your destination clearly?
Instead of just shouting a street name, you can use the polite phrase, "Could you take me to," and then add the place.
Could you take me to the downtown art museum, please? That sounds so much friendlier than just pointing at a map.
It really does. And if you are taking a traditional city taxi without an app, it is always smart to ask about the money before the car moves.
Oh, yeah. Nobody wants an expensive surprise at the end of the ride. How can our listeners ask about the cost?
You can ask the driver, "How much will the ride cost approximately?" Or simply, "Do you use a meter?"
Do you use a meter is such a crucial question in big cities. It ensures you pay the exact official price for your distance.
What if the driver asks which way you want to go, Paul? Sometimes they know two different roads to get to the same place.
If you don't know the city, just say, "Whichever way is fastest, please." That trusts the driver to avoid the bad traffic.
I love that. Whichever way is fastest. And when you finally arrive at your destination, how do you tell the driver where to stop the car?
You can say, "You can drop me off right here." Or, "Right at that corner is perfect. Thank you."
You can drop me off right here. That is such a natural expression. And don't forget to ask for a receipt if you need to track your travel spending.
Just say, "Could I get a receipt, please?" Simple, easy, and you are ready to explore the tourist attractions.
Now, speaking of exploring and practicing your conversation skills, Paul, how can our listeners practice all these amazing travel dialogues at home before their trip?
I am so glad you asked, Emily, because our wonderful listeners can practice anytime with our smart assistant, Mr. English AI.
That's right. Mr. English AI is designed to help you practice the exact English from this episode, chat with you anytime, and help you improve faster than ever.
You can tell Mr. English AI, let's roleplay a hotel check-in or act like a taxi driver, and it will have a real natural conversation with you.
It is like having a friendly, patient English teacher in your pocket 24 hours a day. You can find the special link right down in the video description.
Make sure to check out that link in the description after the video. It will build your speaking confidence so fast before your next trip.
Curious. Now let's head over to that famous tourist attraction we took the taxi to. How do we handle buying tickets without getting overwhelmed by options?
Walking up to a ticket window at a famous museum or park can be busy. The clearest way to ask for tickets is to state the number and the type.
Yes. For example, you can say, 2 adult tickets for the museum, please, or 1 student ticket, please.
What if there's a special tour with a guide, Emily? How can our listeners ask if there's an English speaker leading the group?
You can ask, "Do you offer guided tours in English?" Or, "What time is the next English tour?"
That is so useful. And what if you want to know if you can take pictures of the famous paintings inside?
Just ask the staff member, "Are we allowed to take photos in here?" It is always better to ask first before pulling out your camera.
Definitely. You don't want a museum guard blowing a whistle at you. And Emily, what is your favorite way to find secret spots in a new city?
Oh, absolutely love asking local people for their personal advice. Local staff at museums or coffee shops always know the best places that aren't in guidebooks.
That is such a great travel secret. What exact phrase can our listeners use to ask a local person for a good recommendation?
You can ask, are there any good local spots around here? Or where do locals like to eat around here?
Where do locals like to eat around here? Whenever I ask that question, I always end up finding the most delicious food of my entire trip.
Me too. It opens up a whole new world of travel experiences. Now, Paul, I think it is time to slow things down and revisit some key vocabulary.
You know what that means, everybody. It is time for our favorite vocabulary spotlight, pocket words.
That's right. These are 4 super useful words from today's travel episode that you should put right into your mental pocket and take with you on your next trip.
I am ready, Emily. What is our very first pocket word for today's travel episode?
Our first word is layover. Let's say that one more time for the ear. Layover.
A layover is when your airplane stops in a middle city for a few hours before you fly to your final destination.
Exactly. For example, you could say, we have a 3-hour layover in Atlanta before flying to Paris.
I actually love a good layover if the airport has great coffee shops and bookstores to explore. What is our second pocket word, Emily?
Our second word is reservation. Let's repeat that together. Reservation.
A reservation is an arrangement you make in advance to save a hotel room, an airplane seat, or a table at a restaurant.
Yes, you might say to your friend, I made a reservation for 2 rooms at the beach resort for next month.
Making a reservation early is the best way to sleep peacefully on your vacation. What is our third pocket word today, Emily?
Our third expression is a phrasal verb, drop off. Let's say that again. Drop off.
To drop someone off means to take them to a place in a car and leave them safely there.
Right. You could tell your taxi driver, could you please drop me off right in front of the train station?
And my brother always drops me off at the airport's departures gate when I go on a trip. What is our fourth and final pocket word, Emily?
Our fourth word is complimentary. Let's repeat that nice long word. Complimentary.
Ooh, that sounds like a fancy word. What does complimentary actually mean when you were staying at a hotel?
It is simply a polite, professional way of saying that something is completely free of charge. You don't have to pay for it.
Oh, I love free things. For example, a hotel receptionist might tell you, we offer complimentary Wi-Fi and complimentary morning coffee in the lobby.
Those are the best words a traveler can hear. Now that we have these great words in our pocket, Paul, let's polish up our sentences.
Oh yes, it is time for our next fun segment, Smooth It Out.
This is where we take a simple learner sentence and upgrade it so it sounds much smoother, more natural, and just like a native speaker.
Let's look at our first learner sentence today. Imagine you are getting into a taxi and you say, I want to go to hotel. How can we smooth that out?
Saying, I want to go to hotel gets the basic idea across, but to sound smoother and more polite, you can say, could you take me to the Marriott Hotel, please?
Oh, wow. Could you take me to the Marriott Hotel, please? That sounds so much more natural and respectful to the driver.
It really does. Using could you take me to softens the sentence and makes it sound like a friendly request instead of a command.
What about checking in at the hotel? Sometimes learners walk up to the front desk and say, give me room key. How do we upgrade that?
Instead of the blunt phrase, give me room key, let's smooth it out to, hi, I'm checking in under Silva, please.
Hi, I'm checking in under Silva, please.
That immediately tells the staff what you need while sounding super confident and polite.
Exactly. And let's do one more for finding good food. What if a learner asks a local person, "Where is good food?"
Where is good food is understandable, but how can we make it sound like a seasoned world traveler asking a local friend?
We can smooth it out to, "Are there any good local restaurants around here?"
Are there any good local restaurants around here? I love how smooth that flows off the tongue. It invites the person to share their favorite neighborhood spots.
Yes, small upgrades like those make a huge difference in how comfortable you feel speaking. And now it is time to put everything together.
That's right, everyone. It is time for our real life practice conversation.
In this dialogue, Paul and I will role play a realistic hotel check in after a long flight. Notice how we use today's phrases, questions, and pocket words in action.
I will be the friendly hotel receptionist, and Emily will be the tired traveler arriving at the desk. Let's listen.
Hello, good afternoon. I have a reservation under the name Emily Taylor.
Good afternoon, Miss Taylor. Welcome to the Grand City Hotel. Let me pull up your reservation right now. Yes, I see it here. A single room for 4 nights. May I have your passport and credit card, please?
Here you go. Also, is it possible to get a room on a high floor? I would love to have a nice view of the city if one is available.
Absolutely. I have a lovely room available on the 12th floor for you. It is super quiet and has a great view. And just so you know, we offer complimentary breakfast every morning from 7 to 10 in the lobby.
Oh, that is wonderful news. Could I also get the Wi-Fi password, please?
Of course, it is printed right here inside your keycard folder. Here are your keys, Miss Taylor. If you need any extra towels or recommendations for local spots, just call the front desk anytime.
Thank you so much for your help. You made check-in so easy. Have a wonderful day.
And cut. Wow, Emily, that was such a smooth check-in. I think you are totally ready for a world tour.
Thank you, Paul. And to all of our amazing listeners, see how simple and natural travel conversations can be when you use these patterns?
You really don't need to use complicated grammar or huge words when you travel. Just be polite, use these simple phrases, and don't be afraid to speak up.
That is the absolute truth. You are going to do so great on your next journey. Thank you so much for spending your time learning with us today.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to Mr. English channel, give this video a big thumbs up, and leave us that comment about your dream travel destination.
Keep practicing your English every single day. Have safe and amazing travels, and we will see you right back here next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Happy travels. See you next time.